Namaste, angels. This is the weekly general reading for the period of today, September 29th, Sunday, through Saturday to come, October 5th. I did the love reading ahead of the general reading. If you're confused, it is posted already for those of you who want to watch the love reading. Welcome, everybody, new and old. Thank you for joining, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. If you are new here and you've joined me since seeing one of the astrological readings, first of all, again, welcome. Thank you. But this is the reading that I was talking about, where I talk ahead of the reading and it can be kind of long sometimes. It can go long. This is the one where I try to teach as much as I know about what may go on during the week that will affect people, or what I like to call divine beings, who have identified themselves as being on a particular spiritual path that often includes a romantic aspect, but doesn't have to. And in which case, when it does, people call those soulmates, people call those divine partners, sacred unions, twin flames. So that is for whom or at whom this reading is directed, those people. And it really, anybody, it can serve anyone who's interested in learning about the history and culture that I decide to talk about in a given week, but that's my focus. So if you don't like that, be prepared to fast forward to where I start the reading. I'll try to remember to make the note as to where that is in the reading, the timestamp, or watch another one of my videos or another one of somebody else's videos or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's all good. No need to be, to get in an uproar, get your panties in a bunch or anything. Some woman commented on, I think it was the Scorpio astrological reading. Now, I gotta preface this. The reading has, at the time, 1,200 views, 160 something likes, and 2 dislikes. And she comments, way too much talking. I'm new, and it completely turned me off. Ma'am, clearly you're on your own here, at least on this particular video. So why even comment? Just keep it moving. Move along. I found it weird, but I told her I'm sure that there were silent videos out there for her. Anyway, let's get to this. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. This day is several things. So I learned from one of my viewers, subscribers, Facebook friends, that today is the first day of Navratri, the puja for goddess Durga. So that's a 9-day celebration and recognition and honor of the goddess Durga. Also, today is Michaelmas for Christians, the feast day that recognizes and honors Archangel Michael in particular, but the holiday is also shared with Archangels Raphael and Gabriel. On top of that, this year, the way it fell, it is Rosh Hashanah. So it's the Jewish or Hebrew New Year as well. So happy to anybody who is celebrating. Be well, be blessed, enjoy your celebrations. Let's get into what some of those things are about. For those of us who don't know, I'll start with the Christian calendar, with Michaelmas. I just went to wikipedia.org, right? Michaelmas, also known as the Feast of Saints Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, or the Feast of Archangels, or the Feast of Saint Michael and all angels, is a Christian festival observed in some Western liturgical calendars on the 29th of September. So it's 9/11, obviously, too, if you didn't catch that, which equals 11, of course. In some denominations, a reference to a fourth angel, usually Uriel, is also added. So you guys know who Uriel is, right? He's the one that was standing at the top of the mountain, allegedly. Well, wait a minute. Okay. I excited myself. All right, he's the one who was standing on top of the mountain, the way the story goes, in the Garden of Eden, in paradise, and was able to see that the devil and his people were trying to sneak in, and he gave the warning. He is also the one that's connected to the sun and the color yellow and all of this. Well, actually another one is too. But anyway, the reason I got excited is because Rosh Hashanah, speaking of paradise, Rosh Hashanah is also a celebration in recognition of the anniversary or birth of, Adam and Eve coming together. So in Judeo tradition, they do tend to go back to all the way back to Lilith, the Cana does, the scriptures do. Although they have been like pulled out, she has been pulled out in some of them. This everyone doesn't know the story, but you can find it a lot easier in Jewish tradition than you can in Christian books, texts. So, today is like the day that God decided to do a do-over. So not only it's a new year, it's like a new time period because, okay, now I got these two beings that I'm quite satisfied with, man and woman, Adam and Eve, here presenting them. Back to this though. So sometimes Uriel is also included. Michaelmas has been one of the 4 quarter days of the financial year. The Serbian Orthodox Church observes the feast, whereas most Eastern Orthodox churches do not. The Greek and Romanian Orthodox honor the archangels on November 8th, which would be 19. Another day that's particularly special on this journey, connected to God the Father, as opposed to Mother or anything else. So that's November 8th day. Also honors cherubim and seraphim as well. Very nice. Maybe I should start celebrating that one. In Christian angelology, the Archangel Michael is the greatest of all archangels and is honored for defeating Satan in the war of heaven. Not just in Christian. It's like that in the Torah and the Quran too. Michael is the number one. So I'm not sure what that was about. Even in the Jewish tradition, they've sort of moved around the order of angels and stuff. So Archangel was never number one. But despite that, Archangel Michael has always been number one because he's also a seraph. So it says like they celebrate seraphim too on this other day. He's technically not an archangel at all. He's a seraph. Anyway, that's the story of Michaelmas. So again, also today is Rosh Hashanah. And for that, I went to www.shabbat.org. Rosh Hashanah, the head of the Jewish year. It's the anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve and the day of judgment and coronation of God as king. Rosh Hashanah is the birthday of the universe, the day God created Adam and Eve, and it's celebrated as the head of the Jewish year. It begins at sundown on the eve of Tishrei, the first, which is September 29th in 2019 at least. And it ends after nightfall on Tishrei the 2nd, which is October 1st. Rosh Hashanah observances include candle lighting in the evenings, festive meals with sweet delicacies during the night, and day prayer services that include sounding the ram's horn or the shofar. That happens on both mornings. And also they desist from creative work. There's actually a lot more here, but I'm going to move on to October 2nd, which is the feast day of guardian angels. And for that, I went to www.franciscanmedia.org. The Feast of Guardian Angels. Perhaps no aspect of Catholic piety is as comforting to parents as the belief that an angel protects their little ones from dangers real and imagined. Yet guardian angels are not only for children. Their role is to represent individuals before God, to watch over them always, to aid their prayer, and to present their souls to God at death. The concept of an angel assigned to God and to nurture each human being is a development of Catholic doctrine and piety based on scripture, but not directly drawn from it. Jesus' words in Matthew 18:10 best support the belief. Quote, "See that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that their angels in heaven always look upon the face of my heavenly Father." End quote. Devotion to the angels began to develop with the birth of monastic tradition. Saint Benedict gave it impetus, and Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, the great 12th century reformer, was such an eloquent spokesman for the guardian angels that angelic devotion assumed its current form in his day. A feast in honor of the guardian angels was first observed in the 16th century, in the year 1615. Pope Paul V added it to the Roman calendar. Devotion to the angels is at base an expression of faith in God's enduring love and providential care extended to each person day in and day out. My apologies, I skipped over Navaratri. So I'm going back to the 29th and to wikipedia.org. Navaratri is a Hindu festival that spans 9 nights and 10 days and is celebrated every year in the autumn. It's observed for different reasons and celebrated differently in various parts of the Indian subcontinent. Theoretically, there are 4 seasonal Navaratri. However, in practice, it's the post-monsoon autumn festival called Sharada Navratri that is the most observed in honor of the divine feminine Devi, Durga. The festival is celebrated in the bright half of the Hindu calendar month, Ashvin, which typically falls in the Gregorian months of September and October. In the eastern and northeastern states of India, the Durga Puja is synonymous with Navaratri, wherein goddess Durga battles and emerges victorious over the buffalo demon to help restore Dharma. In the northern and western states, the festival is synonymous with Rama Leela and Dusesra, I think it's Dusesra, that celebrates the battle and victory of God Rama over the demon Ravana. In southern states, the victory of different goddesses of Rama or Saraswati is celebrated. In all cases, the common theme is the battle and victory of good over evil, based on a regionally famous epic or legend, such as the Ramayana or the Devi Mahatmya. Now, the Ramayana, I've read that. I've read that. I think it was like an Indian Hercules, if I remember correctly. You guys can look it up, but yeah, it just stood out to me. I know I've read a story about that. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, sorry about that. Celebrations include stage decorations, recital of legend, enacting the story, and chanting of the scriptures of Hinduism. The 9 days are also a major crop season cultural event, such as competitive design and staging of pandals, a family visit to these pandals, and the public celebration of classical and folk dances of Hindu culture. On the final day, called, I'm not even going to try to pronounce this, it's something very long that starts with a V, or the other name is Dusera. The statues are either immersed in a water body, such as a river or an ocean, or alternatively, the statue symbolizing the evil is burnt with fireworks, marking evil's destruction. The festival also starts the preparation for one of the most important and widely celebrated holidays, Diwali. I was saying this sounds a lot like Diwali, like it's in terms of the good versus evil, which is the festival of lights. And it's funny because I'm also talking about a Hebrew celebration today and a Jewish celebration today. And Judaism also has a festival of lights. That would be Hanukkah, of course. In which which is also about the triumph of good over evil, light over dark. And Diwali is celebrated 20 days after this, it seems. Well, they actually mentioned that. I'll spell it because I'm not going to try to pronounce it and, totally ruin these people's language. It is Vijadashami. So 20 days after that is when Diwali will be celebrated. On to the planetary calendar, I think, and October 3rd, because Guardian Angel Day was the 2nd, so we should be up to the 3rd now. On October 3rd, a few things happen. At 2:39 a.m., Pluto goes direct. That's huge. Also that day at 4:14 a.m., Mercury enters Scorpio, and at 12:22 a.m., Mars enters Libra. So let's go in order, beginning with Pluto direct. And for that, I have gone to www.tarot.com. This was written by the Tarot.com staff on January 2nd of this year, 2019. Tiny but powerful Pluto, the planet of truth and transformation, goes direct on October 3rd, 2019, after 5 months in retrograde. That sounds intense, right? Well, it is. When Pluto starts moving forward, all of our deepest desires and secrets will begin to surface. While Pluto was in retrograde, we were more inclined to turn inward and to bury our deepest truths and wishes. So Pluto direct is pretty much a green light to go ahead and confront the darkest parts of ourselves and others. This isn't a negative thing, but rather it's a way of bringing out truth into the light so that it can be dealt with. This works as a catalyst on both personal and planetary levels, so we can all expect Pluto's powers to transform our lives in one way or another now. If you've been reassessing relationships or other areas of your life during Pluto retrograde, it's now time to stop thinking about making those changes and to truly take action. Be honest with yourself and others and move forward from the dark to light. That sounds like everything I've been seeing in my readings. So those of you who, watch them with regularity, you've been seeing all that. The next one was Mercury in Scorpio. So Mercury currently in Libra, along with Venus and the Sun and the Moon as of today. But on the 3rd, leaving. And of course, the Moon will have left by then as well and moved on. Mercury in Scorpio, sharp, inquisitive, mysterious. That is a transit, or this will be a transit that lasts from October 3rd, 2019 through December 9th. And this article was written also by the Tarot.com staff on March 28th of this year. Mercury plunges into the depths when it enters passionate and private Scorpio. Mercury is the planet that influences how we think and communicate. But while it moves through this watery sign, our thoughts mix with our feelings and inspire us to ask questions and to get to the bottom of what's happening in our lives. Ideas, conversations, and people who are shallow or superficial have no power during Mercury in Scorpio. Instead, this is a time of depth and intimacy, and it can be very effective, a very effective period to talk about difficult issues regarding relationships, money, and mortality. Mercury plunges into the depths when it enters passionate and private Scorpio. Mercury is the planet that influences how we think and communicate. But while it moves through this watery sign, our thoughts mix with our feelings and inspire us to question and to get to the bottom of what's happening in our lives. Ideas, conversations, and people who are shallow or superficial have no power during Mercury in Scorpio. Instead, this is a time of depth, intimacy, and they're repeating what they already said. It can be a very effective period to talk about the difficult issues regarding relationships, money, and mortality. Scorpio thrives in the dark, the realm of secrets and lies, questions and answers, death and transformation. It's an extremely inquisitive sign that is never satisfied with what's simply lying on the surface. Scorpio knows that the real treasures are found when you dig a little deeper. So while mental Mercury moves through the sign of the Scorpion, we all start asking more questions and searching for hidden meanings. But we may not be happy with what we discover. When Mercury travels through Scorpio, it's like Mercury is shining a light on all of the darkest parts of ourselves. We become more aware of our fears and our desires and the ways that others' lives impact our own. We can bond in much more intimate ways because we're able to discuss topics that were normally off limits. But Mercury in Scorpio brings out the skeptic in us all too. While it may feel like we're searching for something wrong in every situation, it's really about emphasizing our negative thinking to get positive results. By eliminating information and ideas that don't serve our needs, we make room for those that will. Our minds are also more suspicious when Mercury's in Scorpio because it's a time that emphasizes secrecy and privacy. We're quick to assume that there are things going on that we don't know about. But if we push too hard to try to get to the truth, which is very likely under Scorpio's persistent influence, we risk creating long-term issues of intimacy and mistrust. That said, Mercury in Scorpio does have the potential to foster greater intimacy as well. Because we're more willing to ask the really hard questions, we might finally get the answers that we need to grow closer in the process. And it goes on to talk about what it means when Mercury is retrograde in Scorpio, or if you were born with Mercury in Scorpio in your natal chart. So some of you may want to read further. Moving on to Mars in Libra. Mars in Libra, understanding, loving, and fair. So Mercury leaves and Mars shows up. This covers a period of October 3rd, 2019 through November 18th, 2019. So that's very interesting. That means on the 19th of November, the day on which I was told 3 years ago, four, I don't even know anymore, losing track of time, to recognize King Osiris, who is sitting here on my table as always, and like celebrate his birthday. And the day that Muhammad's birthday also fell last year will be the day that Mars enters Scorpio, which is very interesting because it's a celebration of the Scorpion King, and Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. So glad to have found that out early. All right, let's move on to this. Though the direct active energy of Mars is diluted during his dance through peaceful Libra, this planetary transit brings incredible benefits our way. In astrology, Mars is at its weakest while in Libra. But that doesn't mean that we become weak. It just means that our focus changes. During Mars in Libra, strength meets grace, innovation meets art, and bridges are built. Instead of pushing ahead with the usual fury of Mars, this is a time of strategy, a time to create new alliances, to strengthen existing ones, and to find the support that we need to reach our goals. Relationships are everything while Mars moves through Libra. Mars is the planet of motivation and drive, and Libra is the sign that prizes balance and rules our one-on-one partnerships. During Mars's transit through Libra, we're especially aware of the relationships in our lives, what's working, what's not, and how far they can take us. No one wants to rock the boat while Mars is in Libra. We're more friendly and thoughtful of others, and less inclined to pick fights or to act impulsively. Instead of leaning on Mars's typical aggression, we're influenced by Libra's peacemaking abilities. Anger and arguments are diminished during this transit because we're more focused on creating calm and loving partnerships than we are on being right or pushing buttons. But with all this passive energy flying around, it's also easier to ignore bigger problems. We want to act as if everything's fine while Mars is in Libra, but the reality is it may not be. Repressing our feelings so that we don't start arguments won't help anybody. Instead, realize that this is a time of great diplomacy. We have a greater ability to talk about difficult subjects with a level of grace and love that is normally lacking. It's not about avoiding things, it's about addressing them with care in an effort to build new, lasting solutions. Because Libra is the sign of justice, Mars's move through this diplomatic sign is also a time to fight for what's fair and what's right. Equality matters, and Libra, while normally passive, is willing to fight to ensure this balance is maintained. Unfortunately, we may feel plagued by indecision or procrastination during this transit. Mars wants to make a move, whereas Libra wants to take its time and make sure that it's the right move. In the end, if we're acting with love, intention, and fairness, we are making the right moves under Mars in Libra. And this too goes on to talk about what it means if you were born with Mars in Libra in your natal chart, for those who would like to read further. But I am going to go on to the dice. So we're beginning today with spend money, no, and stay in bed. Spirit says it's 50-50. Still stay in bed. And eat cake. Happy birthday to any Libras that are out there celebrating a birthday this week. Also, again, anybody recognizing one of the holidays, maybe you're eating cake too. Enjoy. I'm using this week 2 tarot decks, Angel Tarot and Animal Tarot. And again, my Angel Therapy cards with Twin Flame as the overall energy. I've already shuffled them. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship. I did not know sacral chakra was also upright behind this. So now I got to say something about sacral chakra because you guys know I've been talking about this for about 2 weeks now. You are highly sensitive to chemicals, additives, processed foods, and energies right now. Respect your sensitivities by avoiding harsh items, situations, and relationships. Also, integrity. Align your actions so that they match your values and your inner knowingness of what's right for you. Indigo. The person that you're inquiring about is an indigo, meaning a highly sensitive, natural born leader. And books, maybe you need to learn a greater understanding about what it means to be an indigo. Your life purpose involves writing, reading, editing, or selling spiritually based books. So yeah, this will be the third week that something about sacral chakras coming up. You guys that watched my reading last week, love and general, know that I was talking about sexual trauma, sacral chakra, maybe something that happened in your past, abuse when you were a child. The week prior to that, I had started talking about it and seeing different things. Well, sure enough, a bunch of you did share with me that you were experiencing that. Some of you commented. So if you guys want to, talk amongst yourselves, or, we can all talk on the post, that's fine. If that's therapeutic to people, I'm happy to be a conduit for it. But also, last week, I saw everything, like the full gambit. So it was like from marriage to leaving people because, again, something had happened traumatic, and maybe you were just finally able to free yourself from the situation and or person. I had one client who did get engaged, so congratulations again to her. Her initials TM. I've done several readings for her, none in a little while, but I read for her many times. And I was sure to comment, of course, congratulating her, but also, adding, like, I told the people that somebody was going to get engaged this week. We laughed about it. But, like, to the other end of the spectrum, I also had a client who had not spoken to her divine masculine in 4 years. He had not responded to any of her calls, messages, texts. And the last time they'd spoken, she wasn't happy with the way the conversation had gone, and then again, they didn't speak anymore. But she held this like a focused intention. She held the space for him in her heart and in her life, as that is her divine masculine, right? Even though 4 years had passed, she hadn't given up on him, and she still believed, and still does, that that's her divine masculine. Whereas a lot of us get sort of frustrated because we confuse the spiritual path with a 3D path, and we're like, okay, the clock is ticking. Meanwhile, like, the universe doesn't care about the clock ticking. Time isn't even a real thing, But anyway, she hadn't spoken to him in 4 years, and she was feeling one of these things that I was talking about, that maybe he had some sort of sacral chakra issue and sexual trauma as a child and things. And so she purchased from me a divine light cleanse for him, energy healing for him in that area. Or in general. I think it was in general. And that was like at the beginning of the month. And at the time, she was like, don't tell me, like anything about it. It's like between you and him, kind of, let's say. She didn't hear. She just wanted me to do the healing, and she didn't want to, she had no need to hear about it. But after like a week or two, she was like, I don't want to bug you, and I still don't need to hear about it, but I'm feeling something, like he might need more healing. Should I buy another one? And I'm like, I don't know that you need to buy another one, but, I do kind of feel what you mean, that there's something still going on with him. So let me meditate on it. And then I was like, I started to, and I was like, like, why am I meditating on it? Let me just read him. So I did a reading on him. It is published. It's client reading. It's entitled Client Reading YW. So if anybody wants to see it, you can verify what I'm saying. I begin to talk about how I'm doing this reading unexpectedly for somebody who just bought a healing from me from her masculine. And sure enough, that healing showed that that reading showed rather, that he did in fact need more healing, but not necessarily the kind that I had done. Although, I could have done more of that too. But she also, after that, had a dream that he needed like sacral chakra healing specifically, and like sexual healing, like Marvin Gaye style specifically. I'm like, okay, I can't help with that. You can help with that. But long story short, he finally called. Right after that healing and stuff, he finally called after 4 years, and they are, I guess essentially back in contact. So, all kinds of things are happening for people. And speaking of being back in contact, a divine couple With the Angel Tarot, I'm beginning with the Two of Fire. You've come into your own, new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. And with the Animal Tarot, Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer or the Fool in the traditional tarot, you are starting a new adventure. Run free and take a leap of faith. This is like a brand new path you never walked before. Then for some advice, oracle cards, I have my Archangel Raphael deck in recognition of the holiday that's, in his honor today, and an overall energy of stay positive. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me to be optimistic and to take the appropriate action steps that support my health. And the same thing with my Michael deck, Archangel Michael. Let go of fear now. Archangel Michael, please help me to feel safe and deserving of your guidance. Thank you for clearing me of heavy, toxic, or ego-based thoughts or feelings. So we'll start with the tarot decks first. Let me use these first. Again, begin with the Two of Fire. You've come into your own, new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. This is a general reading, so the Two of Fire could represent any sort of partnership between two people, familial, business, romantic, combinations of those, all of the above. An opening, this is an 8, it's not another 2, but it looks like another 2. It's Major Arcana card 8, Justice. Fair and just decisions. Do what you know is right. Stand up for your beliefs. Could be a legal situation between two people. Maybe they're getting married. Maybe they're entering some sort of contract. Twos are also about balance. Whatever it is, it's going to work out well with Major Arcana card 19, the Sun showing up, and Archangel Uriel. This is the one I was just reading about. Happy outcome. Brilliant new ideas that lead to success if you have confidence in yourself. Major Arcana card 19, the Sun represents the sign of Sagittarius in the tarot. I didn't mention that Justice actually represents the sign of Libra. And it's Major Arcana card 20, another 2. So still more partnership showing up in front of us. Renewal is actually Judgment in the traditional tarot, represents the planet Pluto and the sign of Scorpio. Review and evaluate, a favorable assessment of the facts. It's time to move in a new direction. For me, first of all, let me just point out, this is like 2, opposite 2, or 11, 11. For me, Judgment is about second chances, second time around. Something's coming back around to you. Abundance that is earned. It's always a positive card. Some people are afraid of Judgment. I really don't know why. I couldn't explain that to you because I think it's a great card. It's about promotion and reward, award, recognition, ascension, raise, promotion, just legal situation you've been waiting for, a settlement or something. It can be an actual judgment, as in like a court judgment, a decision, typically in your favor when it's upright. And to see Judgment and Justice and the Two of Wands, which is about, again, partnership. It's actually the twin flame card of the tarot, the divine union card of the tarot. It's a representative of soulmates in terms of romantic situations. Otherwise, it's about manifestation. We begin with the 1 when we're manifesting, and then the next step is the 2, the faith that we need behind the intention. And that's what the Two of Wands represents. So like we're on our way building toward that 4 of Wands, which everybody wants to see. Anyway, opening to the 9 of Earth, enjoying life's little luxuries, spending quiet time alone, and successful self-employment. Maybe by way of a partnership. Like going into business with a friend, family member, again, romantic partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. I like to cut into 6. For those that don't know. Here's that 4 of Wands I was talking about. The 4 of Wands is all about contracts, joy, happiness, like being emotionally fulfilled, marriage, cohabitation, moving, new homes, contentment, peace, and abundance, a happy home life, and the successful completion of a project. Overall energy is Major Arcana card 16, life experience, or the Tower. People are definitely afraid of this card. But for me, it's not this card that always means like upheaval and everything being destroyed. And the tower can be positive. It can be good as far as I'm concerned. It's also about it's about being overwhelmed. Can we be overwhelmingly happy? Like we don't have we feed it with negative energy, maybe then it'll be negative. Also, sometimes it just happens to do with a home or something, an actual building, an actual structure like a tower. So we just saw the four of wands. So maybe there is something unexpected coming in relation to a home. That may be something positive, a significant life event, a powerful revelation, and that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. Maybe somebody's like how you spread your wings, you leave the nest. Maybe somebody's adult child is like moving out for the first time or something. And so like all of a sudden the mother wasn't expecting it. That would be like a tower, like, oh my goodness, but it's just a life event. It's nothing bad. But let's see. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that the towel for me is a more neutral energy, not this, automatically horrible energy that people try to make it up to be. And ultimately, if I'm being honest, the tower is always good in my opinion. Sometimes on the onset, yes, it can be like devastation, but it always leads to something better. Crowning the masculine this week. It is the Queen of Water, who's tender-hearted, empathetic, patient, and loving. Relationships develop to a new level. Trust your intuition. Care for yourself and others. The Queen of Water is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. She is surrounded by the Ten of Air. Something was difficult, but it's not anymore. Or soon it won't be. It's coming to an end. She may have even been betrayed, lied to, stabbed in the back by somebody. This could have to do with codependency and some sort of toxicity, toxic relationship, attachment, maybe even involving addiction of some sort. But it's breaking away from that. It's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Somebody may even be recovering from an addiction, like I said. And the masculine subconscious. Major Arcana card 12, Awakening with Archangel Gabriel, which is the hangman in the traditional tarot. Look at things from a different perspective. You're at a temporary standstill. It's important to be yourself. So right now it seems like nothing's happening. And it's like, what's my next move? I don't know. Maybe right now your next move doesn't need to be anything. You're just in a pause. And soon enough, things are going to get going. So while you're in that pause, use it to your advantage. And, look at things in a different way. Like I just looked at the tower in a different way. And guess what? When I picked up this tower that's supposed to be so terrible, right behind it is also upright is Major Arcana card 17, the star, which represents the planet Uranus in the sign of Aquarius, which it rules. It's all about our dreams coming true, our prayers being answered, wishes being granted. It's also about communication, and often communication that we've been like craving, really, really wanting, and maybe have even prayed for. Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path. Now get this. Also upright behind it is the Three of Fire, which is all about making long-term plans. In fact, this card even says it. Abundance. Things look very good. Have patience at this time and make long-term plans. So even if you do get stopped in your tracks for a moment or some sort of pause happens, there's an air of suspension, there is limbo, you got to be prepared for things to get better. And that's the perspective you have to look from. You have to tell yourself things are going to be positive, and you have to think positive thoughts. Don't give up. Protect that which you've created. Have courage and believe in yourself. This is telling you to keep pushing, and you're going to persevere over whatever the difficulty is or may have been in the past. I'm only seeing blessings coming. So whatever that thing was, if there was something negative, it's done. We're moving on to positive things. Also upright behind these is the Knight of Earth, who is loyal, dedicated, honorable, and kind. Time to buckle down and get things done. Honor your commitments. You have a guardian angel. It's funny, Guardian Angel week, day, is this week on the 2nd. The Knight of Earth is a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Now, why do we have to maybe make long-term plans and look toward the horizon? Because the Knight of Earth energy can be slow moving. So maybe our abundance is coming, or I'd say our abundance is coming, but it is slow moving masculine. So that's, just because it's slow moving doesn't mean nothing's happening. You're getting this feeling that there's no movement at all, but there is. And you're about to be put on a brand new path, according to Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, or the Fool in the traditional tarot. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams that leads to unexpected opportunities. In this particular deck, the Dreamer for me represents the planet Mercury. I can't tell you why. It just always has felt like Mercury. Don't even ask. But Mercury's the ruler of both Virgo and Gemini. And as we read, Mercury moves into Scorpio this week. The Queen of Water represents the sign of Scorpio, the closest, because the Queen in the tarot, when you're reading tarot, traditional practice, represents the fixed sign of a given element. And so that would be Scorpio as it relates to water. So I think that this, what's coming up, or these things, this energy that's coming up and this abundance that's coming up to us is in part due to Mercury and Scorpio. I'm still getting upright cards here. And a lot of major arcana, another 2 as well, or 11, depending upon perspective. Major arcana card 11, strength, which represents the sign of Leo. Could be from where this fire is coming. Great inner strength, release harsh judgments. Instead, exercise some forgiveness and compassion. Major arcana card strength shows up. It means whatever comes your way, you have the resiliency to face it. You have the wherewithal, you have the strength, you have the capacity, and nothing can take you down. That's why you are this 9 of fire with the warrior spirit. Also upright. Are we ever going to stop? It is Major Arcana card 18, the Moon, with Archangel Haniel. Important psychic insights. Events behind the scenes. Release fears that hold you back. The Moon represents the sign of Pisces and the planet Neptune. It's about information or things that are hidden. And so sometimes we can become afraid because we don't know all the information. But this says if you've received guidance from those guardian angels of yours, keep moving even though you don't have all the information. Trust them. Trust yourself. Trust the universe. Let go of this fear that apparently appears to be here with Major Arcana card 15, ego, which is the devil in the traditional tarot. A false sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things and negative or fear-based thoughts. See, there goes the fear. Afraid to get on this new path. This can also be more positively representative, again, of a Capricorn. The devil in the tarot represents the sign of Capricorn. And we're still got, this is the last one. This may be why we're afraid. There's several different choices or options on the table. We have a bunch of dreams and goals, and how are we going to achieve them? We don't know, what our next move is. And so ahead of us is a complex decision masculine and the need to do research, stop procrastinating. So you're surrounded by a lot of Piscean energy because the Hangman is a Pisces, a representative of the energy of Pisces. The Queen of Water can be Piscean energy. The Moon is Piscean energy. So a lot of this is illusion. And it's not even real. The things that of which you may be afraid or that you think you're having to fight or defend yourself against. There's a lot of veil. So what you want to do, again, is look from a different perspective and focus on the positivity and manifestation that you should be doing and making long-term plans based on that. I'm going to get a new house, and then I'm going to move in with my whatever, loved one. And everything's going to be awesome. And we're going to have the best life ever. That's what you should be thinking. Nothing negative. Crowning the feminine, the Page of Fire. Outgoing, creative, confident, and mischievous. Also for me is Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, in that order. News of an exciting new endeavor. Use your originality and ingenuity. The pages, pages in general bring something. So like the Page of Fire, he brings opportunity. He's telling us that something is coming for the feminine, some sort of opportunity. She's surrounded by the Six of Water. Maybe it's something from her past. Maybe it's an idea she's had for a long time. Maybe she has the opportunity maybe to be, into the career that she wanted to since she was a girl or a boy. It's not coming back up. Or maybe an opportunity with a soulmate. Six of Water or Cups also representative of soulmates for me. Or something for a child. Something coming for a child or connected to a child. Maybe a fire sign child. Maybe one is coming. Sagittarius is November. So it could be about the feminine being pregnant, and maybe she's having a Sagittarian. Memories from your history or childhood. Issues regarding children and romanticizing the past. And speaking of pages and bringing news or something, this one brings information. The page of air is logical, honest, impulsive, and curious. A Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Challenging information, delays or changes to plans, and truth delivered without tact. Crowning. The Knight of Air, who's intelligent, decisive, idealistic, and tireless. Events that occur with great speed. Take time to carefully review your options. You can come up with creative solutions. The Knight, like the page, is also a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes, and tends to be about the need to make a decision, or indicative of us waiting for a decision, awaiting a decision. Which I think the masculine may be doing, because again, he's in this hangman position where he feels like he's in limbo. So I think he needs some sort of decision or information, or at least he feels like he does, before he can make his next move. At the root, or foundation, talks about somebody might be pregnant or something having to do with a child. It is Major Arcana card 3, the Empress with Archangel Gabriel. Lavish abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. So for some, that's what the masculine is awaiting. Maybe the birth of his child, or, some sort of news about a pregnancy. Is she pregnant? Is she not? Something's been delayed. Maybe it's her menstrual cycle and he's waiting for the information. And so in the meantime, he's in limbo until he gets that information, that decision. Yes or no. Pink or clear, or however it comes out. At the heart of the matter, the Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. You may even be taking a trip. So, of course, not everybody's going to be pregnant. The Empress is also about, giving birth to other things and being pregnant with other things, fertile with ideas and opportunity and, goals and desires. She represents the planet Venus and the signs of Libra, Taurus, and Gemini, which Venus rules. And our heart of the matter shows up to say, again, that something was difficult. So maybe like I said, there was a problem maybe with a pregnancy or with something going on with a child. And so we were waiting this information and everything works out. There could be something going on with a move, a home, with the Tower being the overall energy and the Six of Air being a card of movement or travel. Maybe something tied to actual travel, vacation, across water. Two threes sitting next to each other. Threes can also represent what I like to call parties of three, which sometimes are love triangles, but they don't have to be. But something involving a third energy or person. Let's further clarify these with the other tarot deck. I have room to get better in frame too. The overall energy here again is Major Arcana card 0, the Dreamer, which is actually the Fool in the traditional tarot. You're starting a new adventure, run free and take a leap of faith. Atop the Queen of Water is the Queen of Water. Boom. This is heavy emotional energy. This is something having to do with somebody's mother, perhaps. This is love, deepening of relationships, That's why you're feeling the Tower. You're just so overwhelmed with goodness, with positivity. I'm glad it showed up like this, because it just really bothers me when I see sometimes other people go on about how horrible the tower is automatically. I feel like we manifest stuff when we do that, when we focus on it in that way. Anyway, the Queen of Water is again a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. This is a time of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. So the masculine, in a really, really good place, but really super in tune and in touch with his emotions right now. Court cards can often represent actual people. If she's a woman in your life, I mean, this woman is solidly in your corner, and now we're seeing it twice over. She's solidly in your corner. She could be your mother. I mean, that's somebody who's going to really love you that way, and just, complete unconditional love and support that you can really rely on and trust. And we do have the Empress here, at the root. So that's representative of the energy of mother as well. But she does not have to be. She can be the mother of your child, or just someone masculine. I mean, it's going to be your own energy as well, but it's definitely possible, with it being a court card, that it is the energy of someone around you who, genuinely acts out of love and compassion. That's the way she moves. When it has to do with work, it's often a literal woman there too, who's once wanting to be helpful in some way to you, to help to further you along somehow. And things may be better at your job than you realize it when the Queen of Cups shows up in relation to work. So maybe like this Ten of Swords that's under here, maybe it really wasn't a Ten of Swords. That was your manifestation, or that was your, how you received it and perceived it. And maybe that's why you have to look at things from a different perspective with the Hangman, because it wasn't that bad. That's what the Queen of Summer or Cups can mean, as it relates to work. You could be feeling that, things aren't going well, and they are. So it's all, what's necessary is for you to think positive. Also, I think with love, it's probably, self-explanatory. But yeah, you just want to keep even that area too. You want to keep your thoughts positive. And if you're single and you're wanting to change that, you need to get out there. But with her showing up, the Queen of Cups, sometimes you can get ahead of yourself. Like, it's very easy to get carried away with, love and emotion and stuff in that area. With her showing up twice over, I guess it's that much easier. So you aren't going to want to like keep your head about you, but at the same time have fun and get yourself out there. If you're single, if you're already involved, you may be making some sort of power move, like, again, getting engaged or moving in together or something, with the Tower showing up. I can't think of an area where she's bad. Health, it's also good. If you think that something isn't right with you, it may be a feminine issue that you want to look into. But again, think positively and, trust that things will be okay. And they tend to be, with the Queen of Summer showing up. Did I get everything? Finances also usually have like creative births. Like, additional creative energies, which the Empress is also about, and threes in general are about. You got a 3 down here with the Hangman. You got a 3 over here with the Empress. Threes are about abundance, creativity, growth, movement, expansion. So, atop the 10 of Air, yeah, everything's going to be fine. Somebody may have a surgery. Maybe somebody's mother is having surgery. And this 10 of Air, which is really the 10 of Swords, representative of that. And the 19, the Sun, showing up saying that everything's going to be fine. Yeah, somebody's mom having surgery this week, or some sort of... And I think the 10 of Swords is often associated specifically with like back surgery, because in the Rider-Waite Tarot, the guy's laying down on his face with the 10 swords in his back. So I think it's But I'm feeling like, yeah, somebody's probably mother has surgery. It might be a C-section too. And maybe giving birth to a boy over here. Your plans will work out well, bringing you happiness, prosperity, and success. You'll garner the recognition that your accomplishments so richly deserve. Whatever situation one is in, everything's going to turn out well, especially if you do take the time to put the effort into nurturing it and or yourself. And atop the Hangman, it's more Piscean energy. It's the Nine of Cups. Now's the time when your dreams come true. Don't worry about how this will happen. Just give gratitude to God for all that you have and all that's still to come. The Nine of Summer of Cups for me is like a big yes from the minor arcana, especially as it relates to love and romance. But it's like, you know, if you have a yes or no question, are things going to turn out well? Yes, with the Nine of Summer here. Of course, everybody's not going to have a C-section, but somebody's definitely having something like that. It's like unexpected. Maybe that's why it's a tower. Unexpected emergency, surgery or something, but everything's going to be fine. For others, again, whatever it is you're dealing with, masculine, whatever your situation, as long, you know, or you're trying to develop something or grow something, whether it's a relationship or a project, you know, or career, you take the time and the effort to put this nurturing in, this nurturing that the Queen of Cups twice over provides, and things will work out for you. Feminine, atop the Page of Wands, it is Major Arcana card 15, Ego, the Devil. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus upon material wealth and break free of negative thinking. The feminine is feeling like she has no opportunities. But why? Major Arcana card 15, Ego, again represents the sign of Capricorn. Let's take a look at the next one and see if it can explain why she's feeling that way. Atop the Six of Cups, the Six of Water, it is the King of Cups, the King of Summer. Somebody's King of Cups may be returning. Again, Six of Water or Cups can be about soulmate relationships for me, and also people coming up, showing up from your past. The King of Summer is a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And when both the King and the Queen are on the table at the same time or in the same spread, it's definitely about, you know, romance, love and romance for somebody that's watching this. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. And so that may be what the fear is about. Like I'm of being afraid to see him again or to get caught up again. Let's take a look at this one. Atop the Page of Swords is another Six of Cups. Do you believe this reading today with all these duplicates? I'm happy they're in the suit of cups though. The love and care of children could become an important part of your life, or people from your childhood may return to it. Old memories can be healed, or possibly old childhood dreams are ready to be revived. I do have Page of Air, Swords, kind of news for somebody. Somebody has been in separation, and there is a masculine coming back. He may in fact be a direct water sign, and he has a child that you don't know about. And so that's going to be a message. That's what the Page of Swords is telling me. That's going to happen this week. I'm also getting that the page, in either case, the Page of Wands or the Page of Swords can, but particularly the Page of Wands because it's coupled with the Devil, can be representative of, especially with the Wands, yeah, some sort of sexual relationship, maybe with somebody younger. Maybe they weren't ready before, and that's why they're coming back now, like bigger and better. Like, I'm a king now, I'm not a page anymore. And he may, again, very well be a Scorpio, because the Page of Fire, all right, representative of fire signs, and, you know, thereby the planet Mars as well. Mars is a ruler of Scorpio. So between the King of Cups and the Page of Wands together. It could be one person, and it could be somebody. I'm just getting, because look, it was delayed, so he's coming back. Page of Swords or Air is about, can be about delay, and it's like, now I'm back. He's more ready. He wasn't ready for the relationship you guys had before. Like, you, maybe you're older. If you're not older, you know, more mature, or maybe both. Anyway, crowning atop the Knight of Air, and that decision that has to be made. Somebody feeling stuck. I can't make it. What am I going to do? I feel like I'm trapped. It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. Atop the Empress, the Two of Spring. Your vision, creativity, and dedication to your cause have brought you great success. In fact, it may be in your best interest to get a partner to assist you in your endeavors, or to expand the number of people who are helping you. So again, but the Two of Wands sitting here atop the Empress, I think some people are expanding their relation. Either they're becoming coupled, and or expanding their families, like having a baby, maybe even getting a pet together. That can be too. Fur babies, and that, it's just scary. It's just scary because, again, before I wasn't ready, I wasn't mature enough, and now I think I am, but there's still fear here. Still fear that has to be released. The heart of the matter, atop the Six of Swords, it says that everything's going to work out just fine anyway. It's another star. Major Arcana card 17, the Star. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism, fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. So these cards can be, again, for some people it's just romantic, it's love, and I just can't move away from it. I can't help but to talk about it. And then we talked about a few specific things, but these cards, in a general sense, for a message for everyone, something from your past is or someone from your past, or both, absolutely coming up this week for you to decide whether or not to engage. For some, it's going to be communication that you receive, and maybe even a visit, right? They may be even traveling, or the communication could be coming from a distance. For others, somebody, like I said, has some sort of medical situation, and I definitely feel it could be, if it's involving the masculine and the feminine, not only childbirth, but again, it's like a C-section or something, and maybe unexpected, an emergency. But we pray, and it works out. And I think the child that's born is also a male child. I don't see any problems with money or whatever, because Pentacles didn't really show up other than that knight that was hiding under there. But with the queens, because we got two of them, and the king, and the two stars, and the sun, everything's going to work out, whatever your situation is, and however this at all applies to you, everything's going to be fine, even if they don't appear so in the beginning. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're feeling, afraid that they may not work out, and that the situation looks dire, it looks like a tower, something, again, destruction and upheaval and all that kind of stuff, there's no way out. Stop and think and remember. Maybe watch the reading again, and work on your thoughts and positivity. Also, let's see what Raphael and Michael have to say. Because sometimes when I am in a situation, honestly, I'll pull out my Archangel Michael cards and see if he says, like, let's say I'm worried about my children. I'll see if I get the card that says, like, your children are protected, and and I typically I will, if I'm having that kind of thought, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, thanks, Michael. So we could do that too. Okay, and this will make more sense of all these things too, because I had forgotten that we also had this overall energy from the angel therapy cards of twin flame. The answer to your question involves a spiritually based romantic relationship and sacral chakra. So like I said, there's a sexual relationship that I felt coming up here with the devil and the page of wands that maybe somebody wasn't ready for before, perhaps because their sacral chakra was blocked and maybe connected to the trauma and stuff I've been talking about over the past 2 or 3 weeks. But with the Two of Wands and the two Six of Cups, again, the Six of Cups is representative of soulmate relationships too. So not only is this about love and romance for somebody or somebodies that are watching it, but it is about, you know, like a really sacred connection. A soulmate relationship of some sort. The further advice to the masculine in that regard: you're profoundly clairvoyant. So maybe you're thinking and you're seeing things too. Because again, if you're the Queen of Wands or you have this energy surrounding you, she's super intuitive. And you got it twice over. So that may be why you're profoundly clairvoyant this week, masculine. Trust what you see in your mind's eye as well as what you see with your physical sight. For your spiritual vision helps you with healing, teaching, and guidance. Feminine, from the angel therapy cards, manifestation power. Use your spiritual gifts and natural abilities to attract your desired outcome. I think I've said that about 1,000 times during this reading about the positive thoughts. So I love when it's supported, because I probably sounded like a nutcase or a broken record. From Archangel Michael to the masculine, self-respect. Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me to see myself as you see me, through the eyes of love. Thank you for honoring and respecting me. Please guide me to do the same for myself and grant me the courage to speak up on my own behalf. I'm thinking about that card integrity that showed up before. I don't remember where it went. I ask you for protection in all of my relationships so that I'm surrounded by loving and kind people. Well, it seems like that wish was granted. From Michael to the feminine, detach from this situation. Archangel Michael, I ask you to use your flaming sword to cut any attachment to fear or to drama, so that I may be centered in the knowingness that peace is everywhere within me and this situation. And I know these didn't come up as negative when I was doing the reading, but when I read Flaming Sword, you know, the page of air or swords, and this is fire. I just pictured these two together, the flaming sword. We do have Mars entering Libra. That could be what this is about too. So if there is a situation involving drama for somebody, I didn't necessarily feel drama. But if you need to pull back from the situation because again you're just still feeling like it's not something that you're ready for, that you can handle, definitely detach from it. That's Archangel Michael's advice to you. From the, Archangel Raphael, meditation to the masculine. Dear Archangel Raphael, please meditate with me and guide my mind and body to focus upon peace, health, and wellness. From the feminine, improving health. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for your comforting reassurance about this situation. Well, I definitely saw a health issue for some. So again, he's saying it's going to be all right. Oh, wow. For the masculine, the Three of Air, great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. This may be attached to what I was feeling about somebody having to go to the hospital or something, but I'll pull another card for the masculine and for this too, because I have to be honest. When I saw these, my first thought was jail. I did not mention it, but we also saw a lot of judgment and justice, although it didn't show up here. With these sitting next to the devil too, I just felt like somebody was really trapped or stuck, and that maybe they were in danger of going to jail. But again, I see I see smooth sailing, and I see that in answer to prayers. So that somebody may be awaiting a decision of even like criminal court or something, and that can be what the sadness is about. Also, like I said, I felt somebody, a relationship not having worked out like the first time and them coming back. So there could be sadness or sorrow, regret about it not having worked out the first time too. From the Angel Tarot to the Feminine, it is Major Arcana card 4, the Emperor, which does represent the planet Mars, which I was just talking about. Rulers of the sign of Aries and Scorpio. Organization and logic. Structure and discipline. Also leadership. This can be representative of a father, or somebody's father, or authority, or coming into contact with like a government agency or a large corporation, maybe even court or something. Those are all possibilities. I'm just happy that the outcome is good. We got another 9 of spring for the masculine. So again, universe wants you to keep fighting, keep going, whatever situation you're in, wanting you to believe that you can persevere. You've worked hard, and what you created is impressive and worthy of protecting. Annoying challenges may pop up, but you'll get through them just as you have in the past. So if something pops up, an annoying challenge, don't panic and be like, oh man, everything's ruined. And don't slip into that negativity. Just keep in mind again that you can conquer whatever this is, and that you will. And lastly, feminine for us, of course, it's another Page of Wands. The Princess of Spring, energetic, outgoing, optimistic, and creative. Creative opportunities that you feel passionate about, I think maybe involving actual people that you feel passionate about, are fluttering your way. Personal growth, maybe in your belly because you're pregnant, and broaden horizons will spark fresh and original ideas. And that's it for this week. I hope that you guys got a message. I do want to clarify, like I said. There was so much going on. So I'm going to now clarify the 3 of air for the masculine. I'm looking for the next upright card. As you can see, this is upside down. This is upside down. This is upside down. And this is it. Clarifying the 3 of air. The 9 of water. It's another 9 of water. Another 9 of cups. Your wish comes true. Concerns fade away. You have a love of life. So this is just him, again, being nervous about something, but everything does work out. Whatever the situation is, even for those who I said may be feeling so stuck because they're really at liberty of some sort of legal decision. The next card is upright. I'm going to pull it for these two, even though it's the different deck. And the 2 of air shows up, which means that somebody has a decision to make or is awaiting a decision. So they didn't really give us much information on that one. Being unable or unwilling to make a decision. A stalemate. Pretending there's no problem. I'll pull one from this deck too. And this one's already upright. The King of Autumn. Compassionate, accomplished, charismatic, and grounded. Everything's going to turn out great. So this is more reassurance. Projects will be stunningly successful. Exciting new career opportunities are possible. We've seen that with 2 pages of wands showing up. And money or resources that comes your way will also be invested wisely. So yeah, they just want us to know everything's going to turn out great, even though some of us may come up against some difficult situations this week. Just know that you can conquer them. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the weekly reading. Thanks again for joining me, for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you like your own private reading or any other services that I provide, energy healing, merchandise, customized stuff, whatever, just to chat. And, I like to do that too. I talk to people for free. I'm not one of those people that charges people to talk to them. Although, honestly, I'm very busy. So, you know what I mean. But I definitely try. And when I'm able, I love to talk to people. And when I'm not, that's why I welcome people to Divine Girl Talk and to Divine Oneness. Because then there's others of us who can talk when I'm not there. And I can join and catch up when I can. Anyway, thanks again. And I'll be back soon. Namaste.